Hey, what's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here. We're going on a journey today. Why? Because I'm talking about the Nissan Quest, and I'm throwing that bad joke in for free, but the main video is coming up right now. Alright, so the Nissan Quest. Now, to be fair, I've never had a problem with Nissans. I don't have a license, I don't have a car. My daily driver is a Nexus Walker, which I'll probably do a profile on and show it off here on the channel and my official website, leighdickie.com, at a later date. But yeah, I don't have a car, I don't have a license. I've ridden in Nissans practically my whole life because either family, friends, whoever, they've had Nissans and things like that. I know a good buddy of mine that's got a Nissan sedan. I forget the model at the minute, so you'll have to forgive me. I think it's a 2011, and it's comfortable. I'm about 5'5", 5'6". I've never had a problem with it. I'm an average sized guy. So, I've never had a problem with Nissans. It was a comfortable ride. There's room for me, even being an average sized guy, like, 5'5", 5'6". And, I like to stretch my legs because I've mentioned this several times on this channel and my official website and in videos and things like that. I have cerebral palsy, right? So I'm disabled and need to stretch my legs, basically, because they can't take the rigors of basically walking too much, which I think I overdid today. And by the way, today is Sunday, so by the time you guys hear and see this, it'll probably be Tuesday. So, I went on a walk today, and I like to just admire the cars or vans that I like, that catch my eye just on a walk. I'm allowed to stretch my legs and I'm allowed to get exercise, as walking is my primary form of fitness, I guess you could say. Right? That and a lot of water. But, I noticed that the Nissan Quest, because I passed a couple while on my walk today and on my way home, the Nissan Quest, to me, it seems a little confused on what it wants to be, whether it wants to be a minivan or it wants to be an SUV. I don't even think it knows what it wants to be, because I was confused. I passed by one and it looked a bit like the old Divco milk trucks, like Divco, if anybody's out in Detroit, they'll know what those are. And if you're basically within the lower 48 in the continental United States, you'll probably know what a Divco milk truck is and or was. They kind of look like an updated version of the Divco milk trucks, to be fair. I'm not throwing shade at Nissan. Again, I've never had a problem getting into their vehicles. They've always been fairly comfortable, at least the ones in the last, say, 10, 11 years. They've always been very nice. But as I said, the newer versions, especially of the Quest, kind of confuse me. They seem to not know what they want to be. Again, I'm not knocking Nissan. Their sedans that I've been in and their cars that I've been in, they're very nice. They're comfortable for a guy that's, of average size. I can't really speak for somebody that's 6 or 7 feet tall, because I have not been blessed that way genetically anyhow. I'm only 5.5 feet tall, maybe 5'6" on a good day. That is if I'm standing up straight anyhow. But I've never, just looking at the two Nissan Quests that I did, and if you see the pictures, I'm either going to put them in the video or, they'll be in the thumbnail. It just seems like, okay, so the front end, you've got sort of snub-nosed, short front end. I'm like, okay, fine, it's got a small nose and a small front end, all right. That kind of looks like a minivan, or some futuristic minivan at least. I guess that's the look that most minivans are going for these days. And I love minivans, okay? I'm just going to say it, I'm a giant fan of vans, whether it be cargo or mini. I love them all, okay? But the newfangled generation of minivans, at least, or even cargo vans in general, right? You got that small snub-nosed front end, and then on the Quest, it kind of towards the back, you got something that kind of resembles an SUV. And that's why I think it's confused. It's not sure what it wants to be. On one hand, you want to have that minivan look, On the other hand, on the back end, you've got something that, again, feels like an SUV. So it wants to be like this massive truck. It's kind of like, the little engine that could, or like sort of David versus Goliath kind of thing, or like David versus Goliath syndrome, if you will, where it's like, I'm a fan, like, business in the front, party in the back sort of thing, like a mullet from the 90s. You just business in the front, party in the back. And quite frankly, it's just like, pick one. You want to be a minivan, you want to be an SUV. My opinion, I mean, it looks okay. Just from how, I'm only judging this on how the Nissan Quest looks. All right, this is strictly based on looks. I've never been in one. I've never, known somebody to have a Nissan Quest. Most of my friends, if they have minivans, you're either going to have a Toyota or you're going to have a Dodge. Occasionally, a friend that has a Chevy or a GM van, whether it be cargo or minivan, right? So I don't know what to tell you. I've never been in a Nissan Quest, and I'm not about to especially now in the way the world is at the beginning of 2021 and just going through what we did in 2020. I'm not about to go up to somebody's front door and go, hey, can I just, borrow your keys and get into your minivan? Like, just to see what it feels like. Can I just get into your Nissan Quest? Just out of curiosity, because I just want to see what it feels like. I'm not about to do that, right? And I think one of them actually belongs to a neighbor of mine, so I don't know whether they'll let me in their car. But it just, I've never actually been inside one, so I really can't tell you what it looks like and what it feels like from the inside. But just from getting into the Nissan sedans, at least the ones in the last 10 years, like I'm happy. The ride was smooth, given a climate to, like Southern Ontario here in Canada, where like we get battered around a bit once winter hits. So, I mean, it was always smooth. It was always very nice, and it was comfortable. It was roomy. So, but I can't speak to the Nissan Quest at all, just because I've never been in it. So based on how the Nissan Quest looks, it just looks confused. You either want to be a minivan, you either want to be a family car. That subtle kind of like, how do I put this? Like that subtle, sort of subdued, sort of, we're a minivan. I know that I'm a minivan. I know that, I got to get the kids to soccer practice or whatever. Or do you want to be that party in the back kind of SUV? It's either you want to be a business type car with a minivan, or like party in the back like an SUV. Give them a Ford Bronco and then there's your party in the back. But at the same time, like it's either business in the front or party in the back. I mean, you can't necessarily have it both ways on a car, or other aspects of life. I mean, you might be able to. Maybe I haven't found the secret sauce yet, but to me, it just seems a bit confused. And Nissan, like, it looks great. I've never been in one. I'd love to get in one at some point, maybe, if life goes that way. If I could get into a Nissan Quest, I'd tell you what it felt like. But just from the outside, and from the onset, from what it looks like, to me anyway, it just kind of looks confused and is a bit, unsure of what it wants to be. You got that sort of SUV kind of front end, or sort of like cargo van-ish, or sorry, not an SUV back end, sort of like cargo van-ish, right? And then you've got the business front end, where you've got that minivan thing. And I think that's with all sort of like minivans in the last, say, 4 to 5 years, they all kind of have that small front end and that huge back end, whether it's like a Ford Transit, or like I said, the Nissan Quest, or anything. Well, the Toyota Sienna basically looks the same, but if you got like the Ford Transit or the Ford Transit Connect, and then with the Nissan Quest, they all kind of have that snub nose. Even like the Mercedes Sprinter vans, or the Mercedes minivans, you've got like that small front end, that snub nose deal, and the giant, back end that kind of looks like a cargo van or a minivan. So I don't know whether that's a look in the last 4 to 5 years, but that's just my opinion on the Nissan Quest, and a little bit on like the rest of the manufacturers, like auto manufacturers, kind of like take on minivans and or cargo vans in the last 4 to 5 years. Snub nose front end, SUV kind of like cargo vanish back end, confused on what it wants to be, minivan, SUV, business in the front, party in the back, family mover, or rugged outdoorsy type. It just doesn't seem, all set on what it wants to do. It doesn't seem to like have a set path. So I'm just thinking, like, just based on how it looks, it just seems confused. And those are my opinions on the Nissan Quest. I will probably throw this up on the Beats and Speaks podcast, so please do go subscribe there. All the links to follow me are in the description. Thank you all again for watching. Please visit my official website, LeighTDickey.com, for more. Subscribe as well right here to Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube. And, of course, I've been Leigh Dickey, and we will see and talk to you later. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Peace!